Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. This is Reservations, and I'm Jeremy Blair.
And I'm Rain Whalen. Man.
Yeah.
So, if anyone's watching, as I've already told Jeremy this, I'm not wearing a jacket because I think I look cool. It's because I'm cold. It is so cold here.
There's no way you're still
Well, at least
you put that jacket on an hour ago.
Well, I'm also wearing shorts, so that doesn't help either.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm wearing ski pants underneath here in Uggs. So it's opposite.
You know, I almost got a free pair of Uggs when I worked at Journeys, because they gave all the managers
men's
free
Uggs?
shoes. Yeah. They give all the managers free shoes for certain promotional periods.
Sure.
But I'd missed it by 2 weeks.
Damn it.
I did get a free pair of Adidas Gazelles, old school Adidas. I love those shoes, but they were so uncomfortable.
Yeah. The Run DMC Adidas?
Sure.
With the hard toe?
No, those are All Stars.
Oh, sorry. My apologies.
The Gazelles were suede.
Got it.
But they had a hard arch in the arch of your foot, and it's just it's like if this is my foot, it's jamming me right here.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable.
Sounds uncomfortable.
Yeah. But they were sick as hell though, and they were free.
I mean, that's the best kind, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, welcome back, everyone.
Yeah.
So, dude, before we get into it, I wanted to bring this up because it actually ties into the episode.
Great.
The other night, I finally, after waiting for it, after it's been announced, I watched still a Michael J. Fox movie on Saturday, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal, man.
So is it kind of like Val, or that Heath Ledger one they did? Is sort of like that?
Yeah, I would say it's more comparable to Val, especially considering
they're still alive.
Yeah. But it's great. It kind of plays out like a 3-act movie.
Mm-hmm.
Act 1 is, kind of how we got his start. Act 2 was
he had to leave Spin City.
No, they didn't talk about Spin City till the end.
Really?
Act 2 was more about his takeoff, Family Ties and Back to the Future, skyrocketing him. And then Act 3 was getting the diagnosis, hiding it for as long as he could.
So it's less about the Parkinson's and just more about Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, I mean, but then intercut with all of that is, him now and they talk about the Parkinson's and how, he has these idiosyncrasies now, when he needs his medication. He was saying how he refers to it as he's waiting for the bus, because the Mark Guggenheim is what is it? How do you feel when you're waiting for your drug, waiting for these to kick in? And he's like, well, I say it's like waiting for the bus. So if anyone sees me sitting and I'm saying I'm waiting for the bus, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And then he's like, well, are you on the bus? He's like, oh yeah, I'm on the bus right now. And it's just, and it was so refreshing to see that even though he does have this very serious disease that,
it's debilitating. My dad's best friend had it. And it's awful. Dude,
but it's
so this guy. Sorry, I have to tell this story first.
No, you're good.
Because since we're talking about Parkinson's, and we'll get to the movie in just a minute, which is not nearly as serious. So my dad's best friend Scott had Parkinson's. He's passed away last year, and there was one time we went to go pick him up from the airport. He had just had surgery. Okay, they were going to put something in his brain to try to stop the
tremors.
Right, most of it. And by that time, it was pretty advanced. By that time, he'd had it for a long time, and we picked him up from the airport, and he just has this. There's no bandage on his head, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just an open, like you could see the. Sorry, hon, my wife's over here. You could see the staples, and there was
Oh
still like
no.
whatever goop they put over. It was still matted in his hair. We're like, Scott, what is wrong with you? They let you on the airplane like that? we we couldn't believe it. He stayed with dad that night, left early that morning, and he was not supposed to do that. You know what I mean? Like
Oh no.
this dude was an anarchist, bro. Like he just did whatever he wanted, and he was like, whatever, I feel fine. It's like, you look terrible. Please let us help you. Please rest for like 2 seconds, please. Yeah, dude, that dude was punk rock all the way, dude.
Uh
So anyway, the Michael J. Fox thing was good.
yeah, it was great, and you know, and again, yes, it is debilitating, but you know, it was so cool to see that he's not letting this. I mean, yes, it affects him, but he's not letting it get him down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I'm probably going to lose this battle, but you know, that's okay. And like, I don't know, like, I don't know, dude. It was really cool, and as I learned, because again, like I said, this ties into the movie.
Yeah.
One, I didn't know he was diagnosed in 1990.
I didn't either.
So when we get to it, this movie came out. He had been diagnosed for 6 years. And two, they showed footage from this movie in still, which I didn't realize was this movie until I watched it.
So
I was like, man, what movie is this? And then I was like, oh, that's.
Had you never seen this before? Is this a first for you?
Yes. Oh, don't you remember I said that last week?
Nope, don't remember that at all. I don't listen to you when you talk. Anyway, I don't remember that, so that's crazy. I just assumed you have always been a Burton completionist.
Well, here, this may refresh your memory, because I said that I refused to watch Dumbo.
Oh, that's right.
Because I saw the first trailer and knew almost instantly this was not going to be good. And so instead of ruining my view of Tim Burton, I refused to watch it. Even though I have seen Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It's fine.
Sure.
It's not his strongest, but it's fine.
Well,
but Jeremy,
with that being said, what are we talking about?
Oh, I was going to ask you what we're talking about. We are talking about Mars Attacks from 1996. And as we learned last week, this is based on a trading card game. So this is a purely original story, as far as I could tell. We were talking about off
the
mic.
The trading cards tell a story. We'll get to that. If you collect all of them, they tell a cohesive, like, through line story.
Okay.
Not a long one. I mean, they added a bunch for this movie. It's not like it's like a novel or anything, but it does tell like a small, short story. If you collect all the cards.
Okay.
So I learned that today.
But I'm assuming what we see in the movie probably was not the story.
Yeah.
So Jeremy, would you like me to tell everyone as best I can the synopsis?
Sure. It'll be short. Go ahead.
Mars Attacks, 1996. The government, the president, played by Jack Nicholson, learns that there are Martian spaceships surrounding Earth, and where he tries to be peaceful with them, they prove very quickly they don't want to be peaceful. And they invade Earth. I mean, that's it. You're right. It is very short, just because there's not a lot of context given. You know, like we never really We never find out why they're wanting to do this.
Mm.
Clearly, as the bit is used throughout the movie, something's being lost in translation, quite literally. So we don't know why they want to do this. So there's no clear motivation. And and I said it last week, this is definitely Tim's weirdest, and that's saying something, man. He's made some weird movies.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's different and it's weird, but it's not out of the realm. You know what I mean? Like it's not out of character form, right? Because
Yeah.
this plays perfectly into our last one, which was Ed Wood. Our last Tim Burton is that now he's doing his own Ed Wood movie, right?
Yeah.
He is, this is paying homage to the cheesy, campy 1950s B movies, right? And he's getting to do his own version of that, which is fun, right?
Yeah. I would say, of the Tim Burton movies we've already done prior to this season and currently, I would say he probably had the most fun on this one.
I mean, it seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think hold on. No one had more fun than Jack Nicholson. All right.
Oh, 100%.
Holy shit, man. He was having the best time. Jack Nicholson. I mean, his characters were so over the top. Even the president character is sort of like over the top and sort of campy and whatever. I mean, not as much as the other one, but
yeah, Art Land.
Yeah. So stupid. This movie's dumb.
Well, but you brought up a good segue.
Mm.
This cast is stacked, dude.
Wrote that down. That exactly.
I didn't realize how many fucking people were in this movie.
I didn't either. I completely forgot. I'd seen this before, but I didn't remember all of these people. I got the most excited for Pam Grier. I'd forgotten she was in it.
Ah, that's right. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
Because I didn't look it up. I apologize if everyone can hear that.
I can.
Jackie Brown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Pam
okay.
and Jackie Brown. Yeah. She was obviously Foxy Brown. She was in Coffee. She was in those blaxploitation films from the 70s. And so was the guy playing her estranged husband. I'm blanking on his name. It's Dan something, I think.
Yeah, he looked familiar, but I couldn't
hold on. I have it pulled up. Give me one second. Jim Brown. Jim Brown. So yeah, Jim Brown, he was also in those blaxploitation films in the 70s. So I was almost done with it. I was about 30 minutes in, and then Haley came to sit, and she begrudgingly watched it with me. And I paused it. I go, "You're not going to believe who this kid is." And I paused it, and I'm like, "That's Ray J right there, bro." And she's like, "Kim K and Ray J?" I go, "Yeah."
Yeah. Yeah, dude. This man.
Natalie Portman. I've forgotten she was in it.
Dude, yeah, I saw Natalie Portman. I flipped my lid when I saw Jack Black.
Yep.
Of course, tying back to the beginning of this episode, as soon as I saw Michael J. Fox's name, I was like, wait, Michael J. Fox is in this?
Yeah.
And then, Sarah Jessica Parker, Pierce Brosnan, Annette Bening,
Lucas Haas. Lucas Haas is amazing. Rod Steiger, Martin Short, Danny DeVito,
Tom Jones.
I mean, I'm telling you.
And also,
go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, you just can't believe. I mean, the list just keeps going. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean,
well,
there's so
and
many.
And I think the reason why he got away with it is because most of them all die within the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That whole scene when they finally meet the Martians
Mm-hmm.
and oh wait, I just remembered Christina Applegate.
Yep.
But yeah, when they meet the Martians and fucking Michael J. Fox and Jack Black and everyone dies like almost instantly.
Yeah.
uh you know, and also here's a little trivia. I was gonna save it for later, but I'll just say it
Hey.
now. So, like I said at the beginning, because I'm gonna just quickly, just briefly touch back on Still. So he was diagnosed in 1990, right?
Yeah.
During this time period, before he was vocal about it, he was doing everything he could to hide it
Mm-hmm.
from people. So he first started noticing it in his left hand. So he would notice his hand would have tremors.
Did he put it in his pocket? I didn't even notice him doing that this time, because he would do that on Spin
He
City. He would put his hand in
he
his
would
pocket.
I noticed him either he thought I had a pin near me, but like, doing something with his hand. The one time I really caught it was right before his death scene, and he's giving the news. You can see the mic. I'm going to bring my mic up a little bit. You can see the mic when he's got it kind of shaking a little bit. And I think that was, I think he kind of knew that he wasn't going to be able to hide that.
Honestly, I wasn't looking for it because I didn't know he was diagnosed that early. Because
Yeah.
I remember there was a time. Sorry, we're on Michael J. Fox again, but I love Michael J. Fox, so that's not a problem. So I loved Spin City. I would watch it all the time.
Oh,
right,
dude, the best.
And I remember his last episode, and at the end of the episode, of course, they broke the fourth wall. They brought him out on stage. The audience applauded for him and all that because it was his last episode, and that's when I had probably mentioned it to Dad or Mom or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, it's because he had Parkinson's at the time. That's why he had to leave." And I go, "Oh, that's really," and I knew Scott already, so I was familiar, and I always noticed that he always had his left hand, because that was the one that was the worst. He would always have it in his pocket, or he always have both hands in his pockets to hide that he needed to hide his hands, and all throughout the whole series. And so I thought he was diagnosed. Well, I wouldn't say throughout the whole series because I wasn't noticing, but I thought he was diagnosed somewhere at the tail end of Spin City, is what I assumed. Right.
Well, and that's when he came public about it. That's when he finally was like, I need to let everyone know. And he was kind of worried that would be the end of it. But then no one, because he thought people would hate him, or not really hate him, but they would look at him differently, and no one did.
Yeah, I mean, he got so many roles after that.
Well, and then here's another bit of trivia about him, and then we'll move on to the rest of the movie. I read that this is his final theatrical release, and I was like, that can't be right. He was still acting after this,
but TV.
But it's because, well, all the movies he did after this, they were all voiceover roles. So the movie he did after this was Stuart Little, so he technically was not in the movie.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So this is the last time in a theatrical sense he was on camera, and he's only in it for probably a grand total of 10 minutes.
Wow.
And until those bastard Martians killed him.
Gave him a green ass skeleton, bro.
Okay. But yeah, so I wanted to bring up those little bits of trivia because I found it really interesting, especially knowing, after seeing Still and then seeing this movie, knowing that he was already battling Parkinson's at this point. And also alcoholism. He became a very bad alcoholic during this time as well, because that was the only way he could deal with it. I just found it so interesting. It was like, he's doing those little tricks that he was talking about, trying to find something to do with his hands to make it look like he's doing something else. So the tremor doesn't look.
I don't want to rewatch this movie, but I guess I might have to, just to catch the. Sorry, Haley just shook her head no. But to catch what he's doing, because I didn't.
Well, or at least just rewatch his scenes, because then after he's dead, then you can turn.
I could probably find it on YouTube. Hon, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So
okay. I want to talk about, um, this is an homage to the B movies in the 1950s,
mhm.
and I love that they're just classic flying saucers. Um,
Yeah.
I love that they're really leaning into how bad the CGI is, because
Yeah.
everyone always mentions. I mentioned it to Haley when we were watching it, and this is always the go-to example. Jurassic Park had CGI. Okay,
Mhm.
that was 93. This is
Yep.
96. This is what money does, right? And time and effort. That's the difference, right? Um, and I just like that, it doesn't matter that the CG it's better that the CGI is so bad.
Oh yeah.
Because it
Absolutely.
plays it. If the CGI was good, like this movie would be way less fun.
And I think, and critics already didn't like this movie. I think if the CGI was better, they wouldn't really have been in on the joke, you know?
Yeah,
So I think they would have received it even less because they're like, well, these, hyper realistic looking aliens, why are they acting like that?
dude, one of my favorite, like it seems like a my favorite, what would you call it, shortcut that they do is
Mhm.
the aliens just glide sometimes. It's like, wait,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't, I don't have time to just do the just let them glide. I don't care, you know. Uh, it's so dumb.
Well, and it's what's funny when one of the Martians dresses up like Lisa Marie,
Right,
you know, she glides.
she glides and
So
she's just,
yeah,
but
she's just
go
moving her arms to. It's
ahead.
so good. Like,
This movie's great.
uh,
So here's my, so, all right. Here's been my problem for a long time with film criticism. Okay,
okay.
is that they're not, a lot of people don't put the films into context, right?
Hmm.
A lot of reviewers, right? Some do,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
What reviewers need to do is they need to go, okay, what's the movie? Okay, what's the genre? Okay, is it intended to be serious? No, that's another category, right? Put it there. Does it meet all this
Hmm.
criteria and does it pull it off? Yes, perfect. Then it's like a five, you know, out of five
Yeah.
because it did exactly what it wanted to do, you know. Um, and that's this movie for what it is great, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did read the Rotten Tomatoes consensus, and they were a little, in my opinion, a little too harsh. They pretty much said that like they get the fact that it's meant to be an homage to 50s B movies,
Mm.
but they likened it to that it hits too close to those boxes, and I'm like, that's the point.
But
The point is to not only are we going to pay homage to this, but we're going to go over it,
that's like
and we're
when
going to.
people say, well, the adaptation was just too close to the source material. It's like, you like, what did you want? You're upset when they change stuff. You're upset when it's too close. What do you want? You know?
Yeah.
Um,
And I didn't hear anyone bitching like that about It Chapter 1.
that's right.
They
Sure.
everyone couldn't shut up about how great it was, how close it was to the source material.
Yeah, it was pretty close. I
And
mean,
then Chapter 2, not so much.
and
Yeah.
then they left out the one part at the end of chapter one. It's like not a big deal, but like it's like a big deal that they left it out. You know, whatever. But anyway, so it's it I think it succeeds in the task it sets out to achieve, which is we're going to be super campy, cheesy, we're going to have fun. This is a movie about these silly looking Martians coming to invade Earth and try to take it over or whatever and destroy everything in the process. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and the Martians are silly. Uh,
And they all sound like Kathy.
yeah, they do also like it. That's right. That's really funny. That's a good reference. Solid. Um, yeah, I love little things like the like when the Martians are getting their battle gear on and then getting their weapons, like it's just an assembly line. I like that. That's
Yeah.
fun. You know, um,
Yeah.
it's I don't know. I'm a little all over the place, but
well, I mean, this movie is also a little all over the place. Okay, like let's talk about Jack Nicholson because he pulls double duty.
Yeah.
And plays two different characters.
Mm-hmm.
Which another little
Flawlessly,
bit of
I might add.
trivia. Yes. And another little bit of trivia I read is apparently Art Land was supposed to be played by Michael Keaton.
Oh. That would
But
have
then
been
I guess
awesome.
But then I guess he was unavailable or something and couldn't do it. But Jack didn't even read the script. As soon as he heard about it, he was like, I'll do it.
Yeah, man.
Because he had so much fun working with Tim on Batman that
and
he was
also
like, I'll
made a
do it.
lot of money doing it, and that's why he liked doing it.
Oh, 100%.
But having a lot of fun too. I mean, that helps.
Oh yeah. So like, let's talk about the president.
Sure.
Like this is sort of like a kind of a bumbling president. He doesn't really have like he swings either way.
Well,
like, should we be peaceful? Yeah, we should be peaceful.
Well, he's also putting. I mean, he's put in a really weird situation, but he's not super goofy, or at least compared to Art, no one is. But I like that he's sort of like they put it in there that his wife Glenn Close. It's sort of like this typical like sitcom like dynamic, like she's super type A and she's like kind of naggy and she needs everything to be perfect, and if you're not, then you can go, right? Natalie Portman is sort of it's sort of like Winona Ryder in Beetlejuice, right? Even down to her bed, right, which is draped in that black lace.
Well, and I would say less emo, more grunge.
I would
Lydia
say
was written in the
sure.
90s. Yeah. But yeah, then like she hates the fact that her dad's the president.
Yeah. I think that might be sort of universal because there's a great film came out around the same time. It's called First Kid, Disney Channel movie, First Kid, Sinbad.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. If you don't think I have the DVD copy, I do. It's over there. First Kid. It might be on Disney Plus. Go check it out.
But it's no blank check.
It's no blank check. That's right. But my point is that he also hates that his dad is the president, right? Sort of disrupts their lives, as kids. So I mean, it makes sense. That might just be do you think Sasha and Malia liked their dad being president? Probably not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably not.
Do you think Eric and Ivanka liked their dad being president?
Ivanka 100% did.
Probably.
Because she could use that as an excuse.
Eric's anyway, with his coloring books, he goes, "I don't like it." It just disrupts. So I think that's sort of like a nice realism in the movie that she doesn't. Sorry.
Yeah.
So dumb.
The only bit of realism in the movie.
Yeah.
That and Jack Black's character wanting to be so gung-ho about being on Martian detail.
Love it. So I love his character.
Billy Glenn.
We're just gonna jump around. So I love that we meet him while he's putting together a rifle blindfolded, and he's trying to do it as fast as he can, right? Sort of setting up that he's sort of like this pro-gun, pro-military, pro-war sort of a guy. And of course, he dies as soon as it gets Martian detail.
Yes. And after his gun doesn't fire, and then he's like, "I surrender," and then they just kill him anyway.
Well, they don't speak English.
Oh, that's true. And also, I love that their family is such a mixed bag of other character actors.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only movie I could think of, and it just actually just hit me because I was their dad. I was like, I've seen him somewhere before. He's the dad in Joe Dirt.
Sort of typecast, huh?
And then I can't remember where I've seen the mom before. I've seen her somewhere before.
Oh, I've seen her in several things. Can't think of it at the moment, but if you give me a second, she was in Edward Scissorhands, number one.
That was it. No, you don't have to keep going. That was it.
The other one was Beethoven. You might have seen.
No, I haven't seen Beethoven in years.
I've never seen it at all, so I beat you.
And then of course, Billy Glenn's younger brother Richie, who I recognized almost immediately because I'm a little emo kid. He's the patient in Welcome to the Black Parade.
That's cool. I've never, I normally don't cite music videos when I'm like, oh, that's the person from this thing. I've never really cited a music video, which, is legitimate because, I mean, Courtney Cox was in Dancing in the Dark, and that's how she got famous. So there we go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. If it was for Springsteen, Courtney Cox wouldn't have had a career.
That's right. The boss. You know what I mean? So one of my favorite characters, because he sort of plays it straight, and because he's sort of like, he's not quite as good as Leslie Nielsen, no one is, but I like the earnestness of the character. That's Pierce Brosnan.
As the professor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like he's in a different movie,
Oh, 100%. It's like they had to pitch it to him like, hey, like this is a serious movie. Like these Martians are going to kill everyone.
Yeah.
And Pierce is like, I got it.
Yeah.
He's got the pipe.
So good.
The
slick back hair, He's he'll do more James Bonds after this, but I don't even think he's done Goldeneye yet.
I don't think he's done Gold or he's coming off the heels of Goldeneye. Hang on, let's see here.
Sure.
Let's see here. I got it. 95. Yep, he's coming right off of Goldeneye.
Man, I mean, dude's on fire at this point, and he's like, yeah, I'll do a Martian movie. I don't give a shit. I'm James Bond. Who cares?
Comes in on a skateboard, flicks a lit cigarette at Jack Nicholson. I'm James Bond. I'll punch baby. I don't care. I
don't give a shit. Flicks a lit cigarette. That's fun.
It flicks it right into this pipe so he can make it look like it's actually smoking.
Nice.
But yeah, Pierce, and I think that's what makes it so much funnier, is that while everyone else is sort of hamming it up, Pierce is so straight-laced and on it.
Yeah, because he's the antithesis of like the art character, right? Or Martin Short, right? Martin Short is just like to here, bro. Like he's all the way to the top, which he always is. Yeah, Martin Short is so good, guys. If you haven't already, go check out Murders in the Building. Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. It's incredible.
Or one of my personal favorites with Martin Short, Interstellar. Not Interstellar, Christopher Nolan. Inner Space. My bad. Inner Space with Dennis Quaid. I tell people to go watch that movie, and they put on Interstellar. Like, where's Martin Short?
Martin Short's not in this. Yeah,
Rain lied. Unsubscribe. No, Inner Space. Inner Space is fantastic. Martin Short is phenomenal as a hypochondriac. But again, like you said, dude, he's phenomenal in everything, man. He commits so hard.
I will say that this is a very H.G. Wellian sort of a story, because what kills the Martians. I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but I love that what kills the Martians is music, specifically Slim. What's his face? The yodeling.
Oh shit! I meant to write
So
that down.
I know. So if you guys don't know, in War of the Worlds, it's our germs and bacteria that
Yeah.
kill uh, the aliens in War of the Worlds. Spoilers for War of the Worlds.
For
Sorry.
both movies.
Yeah, for both. Um, I mean the 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 Tom Cruise one's pretty good. I mean, it's not a great movie, but it's pretty good. It's pretty entertaining, so I do recommend it. But
Yeah.
um,
Spielberg did a good job.
but, but yeah, I like that it's the fucking music
That makes their
yeah.
heads explode.
Yeah, because they just can't handle how good the yodeling is.
Yeah, man, that yodeling, it's on point, dog.
It is. The music's good.
And and I love how it's discovered by accident. It's
Yeah,
not like we got to defeat these Martians. Let's try everything. It's
right.
just a simple that oh shit, hang on. Shut your fucking mouth. Oh, I forgot her name.
That's
Hang
okay.
on. Sylvia Sidney.
Yeah.
Um who most people would know from our Beetlejuice episode, Juno, and a teaser for next week.
Yeah.
Just unplugs her headphones because she sees the Martians, and of
Yeah.
course, her character is supposed to be the senile old grandma.
Yeah, she's sort of out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then unplugs her headphones, and there we go.
I was so
She
happy to
can't
see her
handle
in
it.
this movie. I loved her character Juno so much in that other movie we mentioned. We've said it too many times already, um but yeah, her
Beetlejuice. Oh, hey, what are you doing, man?
Which one?
don't quitting. Sorry, don't. All right, she was about to say it too, but we don't need that kind of heat right now. Okay.
What do you think you're doing, man? No, he'll help us. That's the only scene I've seen from that movie.
It's really good. The whole thing's good. So
but anyway, yeah, Juno's the best.
So she's amazing. All right, sorry, getting sidetracked. Sorry, I'm all over the place because I mean,
well, no, here I have a question for you, buddy.
Yeah,
I have a question for you.
I'd love a question.
This may get us back on track.
We'll say sorry, Zach.
Do you think? Now I know what was said. Like I read the trivia. Mm-hmm. Do you think Tim was fully trying to make references to that Michael Keaton movie with Alec Baldwin? Because the skeletons, every time the Martians kill someone, the skeletons that are left behind are red or green.
Yeah.
Which, yes, they said it was supposed to be a Christmas release. Mm-hmm. So that was supposed to be a little like, haha. But apparently, when Barbara and Adam are in the waiting room, mm-hmm. there are green and red skeletons sitting there as well.
You're absolutely right.
So
it's possible.
So do you think Tim was trying to like tie it all together, or
the Beetleverse?
Just kind of be like, hey,
yeah.
What if he's just been playing the long game and this has all been a giant cinematic
all
universe?
Beetleverse. It all culminates in the final showdown.
Well, I mean, they have confirmed the second one, so
yeah. And it's not goes Hawaiian, which I'm really upset about. But that's okay. Because that was the original idea for the sequel. Yeah, no, I honestly don't think I even noticed that that they were also. There's been enough words in between. They were also red and green in Beetlejuice. I don't think I noticed that. And you're right.
Well, see, and I think that's just fans wanting to be like, oh, I think it's more. I think it's more like it was supposed to be a joke because the movie was supposed to come out on Christmas. So,
I mean,
Let's
yeah,
just make the
and
skeletons
it's
red
pretty
and
good.
green.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Could you imagine? Was it released on Christmas?
I don't think it was, because what the trivia
Did it get
I
pushed?
read on IMDb is that it was supposed to release on Christmas. It was released.
I'm looking. I can't find it yet. You might beat me
December
to it.
13th.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, that's around that time. So imagine like it's Christmas, right? Or at least it's like a
Uh-huh.
week before, and you're like, man, I want to go to the movies, man. What's out? You know, and you probably have Christmas movies out. You probably have like big blockbusters. Those usually come out during that time, so a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people go to the movies on Christmas Day. Um, and you're like,
And
let's
there's
just go
not
see
going to
Mars
be another
Attacks.
Home Alone movie for
Mhm.
another year in theaters.
So it's like, yeah, let's go see Mars Attacks. Um, which I have no room to talk. When the movie came out, when this movie I'm about to talk about came out, we saw it on Thanksgiving Day, and that was The Mist. So we saw it on Thanksgiving Day.
You saw The Mist on Thanksgiving Day?
Dude, Mom was sobbing. Dude, of course, I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was so good because I think I might be a psychopath, but I thought the movie was awesome. I couldn't believe it, right? And we then we just went and hung out with our family for the rest of the day.
And
you know,
and something in your mom is broken, you know.
yeah. Oh, she's forever changed, right? And we just hold our family a little closer that day, you know. Uh,
Well, and that's how you spin it. Like, Ma, just wanted you to know, like, I care about our family because we could be in this situation.
that's right. We could all be Tom Jane, and here we are, not being Tom Jane right now. You know. Uh,
Okay.
right.
All right.
Sorry. Off track again. I apologize. I'm so sorry, Zach. This one's just awful.
Well, I mean, because here's the thing, dude. Here's the other thing about this movie, which I think can give us some grace of why we're all over the place. The story is also all over the place, man. You have not one, not two, but three completely different, technically four, if you want to count, all the scenes we have with just the Martians, but three separate storylines,
Mm-hmm.
all sort of converging
Yeah.
in the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
We have the Vegas storyline. You have the Washington storyline. Then you have the other storyline wherever Richie and Grandma are.
Yeah. And then wherever
And you have
Pam Grier is, I don't know where Pam Grier is. New York?
she's in DC, so she's
DC.
part of the
Okay.
DC
He's Washington. Okay.
storyline. Well, because I try to simplify it, because if you want to break it down even more, there's at least 4 or 5.
Yeah.
It's
I know within their subsections. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's so much. And
I think, it's because like if it was just a couple of storylines, we'd have to really stretch this thing out, right? But if we have a bunch of different characters in different places, we can see how they're dealing with this global threat, which is the Martians, of course. Now, I do want to spend some time talking about the Martians themselves because yes, they look very silly.
Okay, yeah.
Haley thinks they're a little scary, and I understand because their brains are out, and they have sort of skeletal like faces, which is how they are in the cards, by the way. Sorry,
Yeah,
but I just like that they're just goofy. You know what I mean? Like they're like taking group photos as they blow up the Taj Mahal, and they're changing Mount Rushmore, and they're having a blast.
Yeah, they're cutting off Sarah Jessica Parker's head to put it on a dog's body.
Which, by the way, that dog owned by Lisa Marie. That's her dog.
Yeah,
just a fun fact.
I did read that.
Yeah.
I wonder if Lisa had to give Sarah Jessica Parker like tips.
Hold on. is there a more useless piece of information as the dog in the film was Lisa Marie? Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I committed to. I didn't even write that down. That's in my brain. I know that now.
Yeah. When I read that last night, I was like, cool.
It's such a useless piece. That's why it's stuck. It's because it's so useless. You know, it has nothing to do with the production necessarily.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox tells it to shut up.
Yeah.
Poppy, shut up.
Yeah. And it's Lisa Marie's dog. God, who cares? But anyway, so the Martians are fun. Yeah.
Yeah, the Martians are fun. I like that their language is just ack. Now this is another bit of trivia that I committed to memory just because I thought it was funny.
Mm.
They didn't know what they were going to sound like when they were writing the script, so they put ack as sort of just a placeholder until they could come up with something, and then they were just like, you know what, that works,
dude. That is exactly how they wrote by the Crash Test Dummies. Do you know that story? The 90s song?
No, I don't. What?
So the song is called right? Just hums. That's the chorus, by the way.
Okay.
And I think it was a placeholder. At least that's the story, right? That they were. Do you know the song, by the way? It's amazing. Crash Test Dummies. Yeah, she's looking it up right now on Spotify. The dude's voice is really weird. It's super deep and super low, and it's such a downer of a song. And then the chorus, I can't wait to see your face when it starts. Anyway, similar vibes is what I mean to say through all that.
Yeah, that they're like, oh, we'll come up with it on the day.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, what did you put in the script? Ack? Sure.
That'll work. Yeah.
Sure. All right, we'll just get one voice actor. There we go.
A part of me thinks, yes, it saves time on that, right? It also saves time on animating their mouths, right? Because they just need to go up and down. Not a lot of articulation with their mouths.
Well, especially because they don't have lips either.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that they're all wearing red underwear.
I completely forgot about that. I mean, like, this was a first time full watch for me, but I remembered some things. Like, when we see them come out of their flying saucer at the beginning of the movie, I was like, yeah, I remember that. And then when we see them in it, I'm like, why are they wearing red underwear?
I know, yeah, they're wearing red underpants. For modesty's sake, I guess. Good for them. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's, they're shameful bodies. They need to be ashamed of their bodies. Because of,
why? Because they have body dysmorphia?
No, just because your body is something to be ashamed of because of Adam and Eve or something. So, anyway, but I like that they're all wearing red underwear just for fun. It's unnecessary. It adds a little bit more camp to it, right? I like the leader's like garb, like it's like the red cape and the purple cape and like all that stuff is fun.
Yeah.
Again, they're just goofballs. One of them's got like a Playboy magazine, whatever. Like it's just it's all just goofing around.
And I think that's how they came up with the idea of that's how they were going to invade the White House with, oh man.
I also like that. I mean, obviously you would assume this, and the characters do assume that it was the dove that set him off. But I don't think that's necessarily true, right? I think they would have just snapped regardless, or were pretending to come in peace regardless, given that I'm thinking about it way more than they ever did. But like, what if they got the thing wrong?
Well, see, and that's
like
and that's what I was kind of
the machine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's what I was kind of saying at the top of the show is, you know, something was lost in translation here because when at one point they steal it and they're running around town with it, and then it's translating to "Please don't run, we are your friends."
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but then why are you destroying everything? So
yeah,
what are we missing here?
They really should have called this. I don't know why no one's ever titled a movie Lost in Translation. Like, they should name a movie Lost in Translation. That's a really good title. But
yeah, do you think Bill Murray would be good for a movie like that?
no.
Who else do you think? You think Scarlett Johansson too?
Yeah, no, I don't know if ScarJo would be. It doesn't matter. But anyway, definitely not. Anyway, by the way, title of the episode. I'm gonna call it "Lost in Translation."
Lost in Translation. Imagine we get a first time listener. They see this episode. They're like, oh, they talked about Lost in Translation, and it's fucking Mars Attacks.
They're like, Sofia Coppola is the reason I live and breathe. Let's go. And
she's like, the best of the Coppola family.
What the fuck is this bullshit?
Tim Burton. Who cares?
Two goobers talking about Mars Attacks. Who fucking cares? Let's see. Where do we want to end? Because we gotta quit. Just beating around.
Honestly,
the bush.
man, I think we've talked about everything.
Because
I think we've talked about everything, man. Like, the movie's fun. It's of the Tim Burton movies I picked. This is definitely the one that is the most fun. Because as we were talking about off mic, my next Tim Burton pick is going to get a little bit more serious and a little bit more.
I cannot wait.
Scary.
I cannot wait for the next one, for the next Tim Burton. I mean, I can't wait for mine either, but I mean, it's mine.
Well, and then after that one, it's the one you're really excited for.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
But the movie's just fun. I think people looking for deeper meaning in the movie, I don't think this is going to be the movie for them.
Some movies are just for fun. I think this movie is for fun, right? It's based on trading cards from 1962. That ran from 1962 to 1962. I looked that up today. It's just movies are for fun sometimes, and this one's for fun, and it is fun. To grasp a deeper meaning would, good luck. So, and who knows?
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe there is. Maybe Tim Burton's like, man, this is about climate change. Like, you guys just don't get it, And I'm like, ah. And he's like, guys, this is about immigration laws. Like, we really need. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Like, he's right. He's right. We missed it, But I don't think it is.
Dude, I would love
goofy, silly nonsense. I think that's what this is.
I would love if someone, like, he's doing an interview and they bring up Mars Attacks and he's like goes off on this huge tirade about how like no, man, like, this is the true meaning behind this movie.
Yeah.
Like, everyone just missed it.
No one has.
Well, I've
figured it out. Yeah,
I know. He's like, people are over here trying to solve James Gunn's Easter egg. They haven't even solved this Easter egg yet.
One of these days.
Yeah. But I mean, like you said, man, I think to fully wrap it all up, the movie's just fun. Yeah. The cast is great. It's a stacked cast, but it's fine.
Watch it for the cast alone, man. It's awesome. Yeah, and everyone's on their A game, and no one's like falling short. Everyone's bringing everything they can to this thing. Whether it be Pierce Brosnan being super serious, whether it be Jack Nicholson just doing Jack Nicholson, right? Everyone's bringing their A game. Everyone's taking it their character may not be serious, but they're taking it seriously. Like they're not phoning it in. Like it's a fun movie. I'll stand by it. I would watch it again, probably alone, because Haley does not like
it. I was kind of hoping I would get Ashley to watch it with me, but she was. I watched it late at night, so she had already gone to bed. So
yeah.
But well, buddy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sylvia Sidney,
dude,
what are we talking about next week?
Dude, I couldn't believe it. All right. For fun, while I was watching the movie, I looked up Sylvia Sidney because I'm a fan, and I was like, I wonder if she's been in anything else that I may have seen, because I've only ever seen her in Beetlejuice and this that I can recall. And looking it up on IMDb, I think it's one of the things that pops up like known for is our movie for next week, Fury, starring Spencer Tracy and Sylvia Sidney. These movies are 60 years apart exactly. This movie came out in 1936. And of course, the movie we just did is 96. And I just can't believe she's in both. I mean, what a crazy coincidence is that, you know?
Yeah. Now this is Fritz Lang's first English-speaking movie, correct?
From my recollection, yes, because he had done Dr. Mabuse. Well, he'd done The Last Testament of Dr. Mabuse in 33, which is, yeah. And then I think it's Fury after that. I have it in front of me. What the fuck am I doing? I can just look it up. Why am I speculating? Anyway, but I'm excited. I've never seen it before. So something to look forward to. Perhaps, okay, hold on. Testament of Dr. Mabuse. No, he did a movie in 1934 called Lilium, and it is a full-length feature film. So yeah, it's a drama fantasy. Never heard of it. Not going to see it. So we're doing his first like, let's go in full noir, right? That's what we're doing.
I was about to say this is full transition into film noir.
Yes. So where M is sort of like what I consider like one of the godfathers of film noir. Now he's getting into actual film noir. With Fury,
full 180.
Yeah. After this, which also popped up a lot in, if you're looking up pictures of Sylvia Sidney, is You Only Live Once, with Henry. I think it's Henry Fonda. Yeah, Henry Fonda. That's also Fritz Lang. That's also a film noir. So, Sylvia Sidney coming in clutch in his early English speaking film noir days.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. You know, I love talking about M. You know, rewatching M was awesome. So I'm excited, especially now. Now I don't have to read and watch at the same time.
Nope, you don't have to read. Also, it's an hour and 32 minutes. So
that's you're welcome.
So you're welcome. We've done it. We've made it to the short ones. Thank you for hanging in there, all of you out there. Zach.
Zach.
You can rent this on Prime Video. I believe it's also on iTunes, or you can get the Blu-ray copy. Warner Archive just released it last year or the year before. So it is available like on Amazon if you wanted it, just to buy it. So again, early Spencer Tracy. I love Spencer Tracy. I'm sure we've talked about it on the show before, but my mom is obsessed with his love story with Katharine Hepburn, in their journey together through their encounters being in movies together. And those of you who care, he is the father in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Most people have seen that. So, nice. And Katharine Hepburn is the mother.
Noise.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's their last movie together, by the way. So this is also a shout out to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Please go see it. Watch it anywhere you can. It's awesome. And Spencer Tracy is just remarkable in it. I'll end in a minute. So he does this thing, Spencer Tracy, and I bring it up because maybe he does it in this movie too, where in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, he has his hands in his pockets, right? And he will walk with his head down towards the camera or towards whomever he's speaking to. He'll stop, he'll walk, he'll stop, and then he'll look up. It's him walking to his mark, stopping at his mark, looking at it, and then looking at the person he needs to be looking at. Just to make sure he's in the right spot. But he does it to where he makes it a part of his character. Like what he's saying is meaningful to him, and he's really thinking about what he's saying, but really he's just looking for his mark. So let's see if he does it in this one.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, we hope you enjoyed Mars Attacks, even though it was all over the place.
What we fudged it.
But we will see you. Yeah, that's all right. But we will see you next week for Fury.